Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have the help section. So this is just something to note if you want to use it as a reference. I will also add the recording of this training into this playlist so you can watch it later if you want. But these are just tutorial videos on how to do certain things within WordPress, between the menus and forms, things like that. So this is here for you to use, as well as some written documentation. Sorry, I have to update this. But it'll have like how to add a page, how to add a post, step 1, step 2, if you prefer written documentation. So I can add that in there for you as well. And if there's any other videos that you want me to add, this is just a sort of running playlist. So I can certainly add other videos. I tried to think of as many as I could. But if there's any new ones you want me to add into here, I can add them to your library as well. So that's there for you to use. So off the bat, again, if I just start from the dashboard, one thing that I like to mention first is this is the dashboard view where you can easily sort of jump into different sections of the website. So posts are your news posts, pages are your pages. But what I personally like to do is if you just click Fast Technology on the top black bar with the little home on it, this is going to bring you to the website as if you're a user, and then this top bar is going to follow you whatever page you're currently looking at to then be able to edit that page, which I just find to be easier in terms of making edits, to see a page and then want to make an update and click edit rather than having a full list of pages. So let's say we'll start with the home page. Let's say we want to change out maybe this image here or the text here. I just click this edit front page on the top black bar. And then what we use to create this homepage is actually a page builder called the Advanced Layout Editor. So as you can see, these are the different sections of the homepage. So here is that initial header, specialized, reliable, and fast. Here's the description for it, and there's the button. And here is that image graphic on the right-hand side. So all you have to do is really just click on a particular element, and then you'll be brought to the settings of that element to be able to make changes to it. So here you could change specialized to be like awesome, and that will change. And then you would just save here. And then when you're done with all of your changes on the page, you would click update up here. This is to actually update it on the live page. Otherwise, you can preview it before you click update. But update will actually save it to the live version. If for whatever reason you accidentally click update and you absolutely hate it, here is this revisions box. So what you could do is if I browse the revisions of a particular page, I can then just drag it back to what it was previously. So this was 19 hours ago, and I could restore it to the older version. Because sometimes people make mistakes, so you might have to do that. So again, just coming down the page, so here's the header, again, here's the text. So if I just click on that, there is that description on the homepage header. So you could change that to whatever it is you wanted to. Same goes for the button. If I click on the button, this says learn more. We probably want this button to go somewhere. So I would probably make it go to the about page. But here you would actually paste in where the button's going to go and save that. And then here is that graphic. So I know there was some talk on trying some different graphics in that header section. So if I just click on the graphic, I could then just insert a new image from my computer. I just select file. So you could certainly download some different iterations and try and upload new ones into this section to then see if anything is preferred over this one. And obviously you can leverage preview to make sure you like it before clicking update to try a few different options there. Latest news. So here is the latest news on the page. I'll open this in a new tab so we can actually look at what we're looking at and what we're editing. So if I open this in a new tab, so here, this is that latest news section. So we probably want to write a sentence or two of what type of news is going to be pulling in beneath here. So here is that latest news box. So again, if I just click on it, it'll open up. And then here is the latest news. And then here is the subheading text. So I could put description of news below here and save it. So that would be there. And then this latest news slider is actually pulling in from the posts, which we'll get into in a few minutes. What is FAST software? So that is this section here. So here we have the three different sort of key areas. So if I'm in my page editor, here are the three custom features. So again, if I just click on it and open it, here is FAST Technology Platform. Here's the text associated with it. Here is the URL. So if ultimately you make a page that actually talks through all the different aspects of FAST Technology Platform, then this could actually go somewhere. And then here is the icon. So again, you can certainly swap out the icon and select an icon from your computer. We have an icon resource that I can share with you in the follow-up email that just has a bunch of free icons that you can use. But that's in there. So same goes for all of these custom features. If you wanted to reorder them, you could certainly just drag this into this box and then drag this into this box. This page builder basically allows you to actually move different things on your page up or down or eliminate things pretty easily without having to code anything. So it does have flexibility there. So those are the features. Here is the FAST Technology Platform section with the icon list, as well as this graphic over here. So again, if I'm in the page editor, you can just click on the icon list, and here are the different icons. So again, sometimes just a couple of clicks. So if I just click on this element, here is Scalable Technology Platform designed for needs. So you could change what the actual list option is, and then just save it. If you wanted to add more to this element list, you could certainly just add here and then open it and then just fill in the actual information for the new item. And probably want to use this check like the others to then be able to fill in a new item here. And again, same thing, you can just drag and reorder them. If you wanted them to show in a particular order or a different order, you could do that. This is the graphic. So again, if you wanted to play with different images, if I click on it, I can then insert a new image from your computer, try new things. So again, everything on the page should be editable in a field where you'll be able to swap things in and out. Here is the don't just take our word for it section. So again, you can just click on this, change what it says, and change what the subheading text is if you want. Content slider. So these are the actual quotes. So if I open this up, here are quotes 1, 2, 3. Again, if you don't want to have 6, you could just delete one. You could open up quote number 1, and here you could just change what the actual quote is, who said it, what their role is. You could really write whatever you want here to have your quotes in there. But you could obviously only commit to however many you want. And if you wanted to add, just add, same thing. So you could just add quote and then just fill in the actual blanks. And then at the bottom, we just have that let's set up a consult today. So we probably want to add some language that isn't Latin here. So if I open this up, here's let's set up a consult today. You could change it to something different if you don't like that particular language. But otherwise, here is that Latin text where you can just add in the sentence or two. Save it. And then this is just pulling in the form within the form builder, which I'll get into later. So again, once I make any changes to this page, you just want to click update. Otherwise, you can certainly preview it as you go. If I do preview, it'll open in a new tab to see any changes that I made on the page. So here is that new list item, which I obviously don't want. So I wouldn't update it in this case, but you could always use preview to make sure that you like it. Any questions on this homepage, editing the elements on the homepage?
I don't have any questions, but actually about that, I do have a question in regards to adding a button.
Okay.
Like if we wanted to add a button somewhere, how would we do that?
Okay, so where are you thinking to add a button? Just as an example.
Um, I guess.
Let's say we add a button maybe beneath one of these where it's just like click here, maybe just hypothetically. So
Yeah.
so basically how this page builder works is obviously these are all of these sections and elements on the page that we already populated in. But if I tab over here where it says content elements, these are all different things which you saw before, icon, list, button, etc., that you can actually drag into your page wherever you see fit. So here is button, for example, and if I just hold it down and drag it, I can then put it, say, beneath custom feature. If we do want the button to match the other buttons on the page, we actually created this custom button to match the actual like design style. So what I would probably do in this case is actually duplicate this button, which you can do. So on every element, if you like a particular element and how it's laid out, you can actually just clone the element and then change the information that's in that element. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So if I cloned that, then I can just drag this copied button, if you will, and drag it beneath custom feature. So now I have custom button beneath the feature. And if I open this, I can then change this to, I guess I can just keep it learn more for now. And then I'll just delete this guy because I think this process of actually duplicating the custom button so that everything matches. So let's say I quickly duplicate custom button here, duplicate custom button, drag it and put it here. And then I'll just preview it so you can see. So that's usually what I do. I'll like put elements into different sections and just preview it. And if I hate it, I just go in and you can trash an entire element if I just come down here and hit remove, delete. But if I preview this, so I come into my new tab. So now these are white with green. So we'd probably want to update these. But basically you can see I just added this custom button onto the page. So what we would probably do is we could add in a different custom button that's a different color. Let me see if the actual, yeah, because the settings aren't in here. But we could add in, so custom elements, we have custom button, custom feature, custom button primary. I think this might be maybe what we want as a custom button. So again, some of it is just like putting it in, seeing what it looks like. Okay, I don't like it. Let me delete it and try something new. But yeah, basically this page builder is flexible in the sense where if you want to add a totally different element to the page, you can certainly just drag it into a section. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then another cool feature as far as the advanced layout editor goes is you can actually save page layouts as a template. So we went ahead and saved this homepage template as a template. So that way later, if you're creating a new page, so if I come into pages, add new, what you could do is as a default you're just going to get the standard WordPress editor. So this is what the standard, if you're just creating a page that's just title, paragraph, description, you could certainly just use this is what you're going to see off the bat when you do pages add new. But if you want and you're feeling adventurous and you want it to be more of a creative type of page with buttons and things like that, then you can just click this advanced layout editor. And then here, like I was mentioning, you can then load in pre-existing templates. So we have the homepage template here. So what you could do is use the homepage template and then just come in and change out this to say like software, feature, services, and just use this template again. Otherwise, if you didn't want to do that per se, if I come back, how the advanced layout editor works is you can basically create your own page with whatever you want on it. So how it works is you pretty much create different rows and how many columns you want in a row. So let's say I want a full width row and then I want like a 1/3, 2/3 row. Again, this is entirely up to you in terms of if you want to get creative with your pages. Otherwise, you could just do the standard title description. But basically how it works is you create your containers in the size of the container that you want. And then we use that content elements to then drag in the different elements on the page. So if I drag in a text block and then maybe I drag in a accordion per se, we'll put an accordion over here. And then maybe we have if I come into media elements, here's some more actual media type of elements, but let's say I drag an image over there. Then the same format, I can come in and click on it to then change what this says. So you can sort of build out to your pages. So obviously this isn't going to be the prettiest of pages, but just to show you, I could make a page, image, and accordion style. So again, this page builder is more so there for you to play around, be able to not necessarily know how to code and still be able to have some cool elements on your pages. That being said, though, so if I come back to, again, when you click Fast Technology up here, this is going to bring you to the front of the website, whereas if I click it again up here, this will bring you back to the dashboard view. So you can sort of jump back and forth. But if I click Fast Technology up here, and let's just say I'm trying to quickly run through my pages, see what we have. So we have insurance software up here, which we made this page, which I talked through. But again, if I click on it, this top bar is following me. So I can just right away click edit page and then come in here to same thing, be able to just click on the different parts of the page and make changes to them. So same thing, this is all in here. Here are the different tabs of things. You can add a tab if you think there's a fourth one, but here's Fast Technology Platform. I can change what this says. I can change the subheading text. So certainly can come in and change what these are. Here are those features, the icon grid, the sort of flip cards. So if I click on here, here is what it says. And then beneath is what the content would be once the card flips. And then this is the icon associated with the card. So those are in there. Just saving. Here are videos. So if you have video links, you can then just click on it, change the video to be a video resource that you have, and save it. And then same goes for this. If you had more, you could certainly just clone. I'm just cloning and add like another row of videos onto here if you wanted to. Otherwise, I can just delete. So this page is in here as well to be able to make changes to. And I can actually save this as a template so that way we'll have both templates that you can then preload in to a new page if you want to. So now we have that. But again, what I personally like to do is I'll make changes, I'll update, and then I'll do view page on the top to see if I like a change. And then I might say, oh, nope, I still don't like it. I'm going to edit page again. I usually just leverage the black bar as much as possible. I just find it easier to be able to make a change, see what I did, make a change again, see what I did. So I just use view page. As for the other pages, these are where you'll have to sort of fill in the gaps just from now until we launch. So we don't have any, for videos, we just put placeholder videos here. Again, entirely up to you if you want to actually update these to be whatever videos you see fit. So if I edit page when I'm on videos, they're all in here. And you can certainly add in content element. So if you wanted to add in like a text block above or beneath the video, each video to like add a description of what it is, etc., you can do that. But all the videos are in here to then change where it's going. And again, you don't have to commit to 6. You could commit to 3 for this week and then just trash and do 3. But that is in there. If I do view.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So since the website is getting put up very, very quickly from what we originally anticipated, what if I wanted to hide some pages for the time being?
Yep. Yeah, so let's say we keep Fast, the homepage, the insurance page, maybe like about. Honestly, on about, you could just come in here. If I'm on about and I do edit page, you could just literally write like copy paste the paragraph on your current website that's like mission whatever and just paste it in here and update that so that way you have some sort of about paragraph. But yes, in terms of pages, if I come into all pages over here on the left hand side of my dashboard, here are all of the pages that currently exist on the site. So let's say if, for example, the services, maybe we probably don't want to commit to doing all of these services in the next 2 days. You can certainly come in, and if you just quick edit, then you can change it from status published to draft and update it. So then this page would then go into draft mode, and up here on the top, you could then come into like your folder of drafted pages later and then take your time, edit them, and republish them. So that way then people will be able to find them. But obviously if it's in draft mode, Google search wise, no one would be able to find it, etc. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, you can totally just draft and then update them when you see fit.
What does the pending review do?
It just is the same thing. So pending review would just be like similar to a draft. So if I made update and I made a pending review, you would just still come in here and edit it, etc. It just would make it same thing. Like it's not a published page that would be searchable. But pending review is more so for if there's particular user accounts that would only allow for a user to put pages or posts into pending review. So that way an actual administrator on the site would then actually approve it and get it published. That's more so what pending review status is for. But you could, same thing, it's similar to a draft where it wouldn't actually be published if you wanted to put it in pending review.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so if I'm just coming down the list, again, here are all the current pages that exist. So you could come in this route and say all pages, hover over, click edit. This will bring you to the same exact thing that I was showing before where you're editing the insurance software page. Just as a habit, I personally prefer to go to the site and then click edit page on the top, but it's really up to you. So if I, again, click Fast Technology, I'm in the dashboard view. I'll just run down these because a lot of these, honestly, you aren't going to have to touch or be involved with. A lot of it is just more so setup of the site. But obviously the help section is here. Posts, these are your news posts. So these are the latest news and press. So all of these are in here. These are the pre-existing ones that are already featured on the homepage. So these guys here. So if you wanted to make any changes to them, you could come into here and let's say edit. So here's life insurance policy. It's similar to, again, like a Microsoft Word text area where you can then just change and add things. If you wanted to add links, so let's say I wanted to highlight these words here, you could insert link and then paste in Google, etc. To actually link things up. You could put photos into the actual text area if you use this add media button. So I click add media. This is what's called your media library. So every time you upload a image or a PDF, anything like that, it'll actually come into this media library. So if I come into this media library tab, you can see like these are all the things that we've uploaded so far. So you can easily like reuse things once photos are uploaded into the site. But otherwise, you could just upload file, select a file from your computer. But let's just say I'll just grab one of these photos. For example, if I insert into post, here's my picture in my post. And if I click on it, I can make it bigger or smaller. I can also align it left or right so that way it wraps sort of like a newspaper article. So you can definitely add images into your news post and press if you have like a photo of winning an award or whatever. You can add photos into there. You still have access to the bullets and numbering, bolds like you would in Microsoft Word. So anyways, this is a post that was already created for you. You will want to tag over here under categories, news and press, so that way it pulls onto that homepage section. So this is how it's pulling in there. So just if you're making a new post, just be sure to tag categories, news and press. And if I am creating a brand new one, we'll just go through that process. So if I'm making a new post, I would just do posts, add new. This would be a new article. I would just put in my description here. I would then choose news and press because I want to show it on the homepage. And then I would hit publish. And once I hit publish, it'll show up first here because this is showing the most recently published ones first. So these will obviously get pushed out. The 3 most recently published will show here. So one way to sort of cheat the system, if you want a particular one to be showing in the top 3, sometimes I'll just edit the publish date to then be sooner or more recent, so that way it'll show up there. That's just sort of a workaround. But one awesome thing about posts is you can schedule them. So if you do know that something's going to be happening in September per se, I can change this publish immediately and edit this to then say maybe this is in September 1, and if I click OK, then you'll see that this button then changes to schedule. So you can sort of have posts in the queue if you know you want to sit down, have a Sunday, and you can just write them all and schedule them out to be published. You can do that.
So would I do the same for current post to change it to bring it up to the top 3 on the homepage?
Yeah, I would. If you come into all posts, so here are all of the current ones that are already published. So what you can do is if you just do quick edit right here very quickly, you can just change the publish date to be, like June 6th. Sorry. So that way it'll like show in the order that you want. Oops. Sorry.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's just sort of like a workaround to like show them in the order that you want. Any other like news questions on the post?
No.
Okay. So yep, all the news is in here. So again, think of them as like bulletin board posts. News posts are here. Media, again, this is just your media library. So if you have a bunch of photos that you just want to put in here, you can. Otherwise, I more so use the media library as I go. When I'm like adding it to a page, I'll upload things. So that's more so just there if you need it. But you could add new and then bulk select things. You do have the ability to like drag into the media library too, so you know. So when you click add media, you can just like drag it from your downloads folder and drop it in there too. Okay, so just coming down the list, here are the forms. So this is, I'd say, almost one of the last things, but as far as forms go, so right now we have this setup consult form, which is on the homepage as well as on the insurance software page. So here is the form itself. So if I come in, I can edit the form. And this form builder is kind of similar to like a SurveyMonkey or Google form where you can sort of have whatever fields on the form that you want. So right now we have full name, email, phone, and message. But if you wanted to, you could just hold down. This is the type of field. So let's say I wanted to add a drop down fields and I just drag it and drop it into here. And then if I open it up, so I just click on it, I can then change. I could just remove what this field label is, and I can change what the options are. So again, you can sort of build out these forms with whatever type of fields you really need to ask in the forms. And you can, again, drag and reorder them. You can make them required if you want. So if I click on here and maybe I want to make the name required, I can do that if I want. It's totally optional. But basically how it works is if I update my form, I then build my form in the form builder. And then when I'm creating a page or a post, you're going to insert into the page. So let's say I have a post, just for example. If I do post add new, just so I can point it out. So on the post and the pages, you have this add form button. So if I click add form, then you can choose a form to put on your post or page. And then if I insert it, that's you've probably noticed on the other pages, but that sort of ID code that pulls in to embed the form on the page. So if I preview it, now I have this, like, obviously this is not the most beautiful form, but I put my form on a page. So the form builder is in there and there's a video on it in the help section. In terms of the entries of forms, if you wanted to at a glance, so if I come into forms, at a glance, I can see how many entries have been submitted into the form. I can come into entries, and if there were entries, you would then see them sort of in like a table format here to be able to see the entries. But most people will end up exporting the entries. So on the left-hand side here, we have this import export. So you can choose a particular form that you want to export, and then you can choose exactly what fields you want to export. So maybe I just care about first name, last name, phone, and message. And then you can also export by date. So maybe I only care who filled out the form last month since I already exported it for the previous month. You can do that and then just download, and then it'll create like a CSV file for you to export all the entries.
Can I create, like, if they click the setup console, can that information be sent to an email?
Yep.
Can I do that?
Yep, of course. So in the setup, you can do this on a form by form basis. So maybe you have like a setup consult form, and then you have just like a general contact form, and they would go to different people. You can set up the notifications on a form by form basis. So here is setup consult. If you go to settings, notifications, as a default, whoever the admin on the site is, I don't know if we've decided that yet. It might be you, Kim, it might be someone else. But basically what you could do is if someone else should also get a notification, is what you can do is just duplicate the notification. And then if you edit this, you can sort of like subscribe yourself to the email. So here you could just put your name, and then you could put the send to email as yours. And then you'll get an email that basically says there's been a new submission from set up a consult form. And then you'll get all the fields in an email. So you would just update this. So you could do the same thing, just again, coming into the form notifications and then just duplicating to then go to whomever should receive it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other form questions while we're on it? There is some cool things that you can do with the forms conditionally. So let's say on the setup a consult, if you wanted to get more advanced and you wanted to say like which service do you want to set up a consult for, I'll just show you. So like let's say if I edit the setup a consult and then I want to add a radio button fields, that is like which service. Then you could put in the different options and update it. And then you could, if I was doing settings notifications, let's say, Kim, like you should only get notifications on certain types of consults. If I edit your notification, I could then come down here and put enable conditional logic to only get this notification if which service is a certain thing. So there is flexibility there because sometimes people get so many emails and some things aren't relative to them. So there is some flexibility if you want to get more granular on the form to then have particular granularity on the notifications. That's just an option, but just wanted to point that out because there is like some conditional things. Same goes, you can actually make the fields conditional, and there's a whole video on this too, but you could potentially have like which service and then have a different question. If I put radio button here on each of the fields, if I click on it, and if I go into the advanced tab, again, this is obviously more advanced sort of phase 2. If you end up wanting to use it, I just want to know you have the options to do so. But if I come into like the advanced tab on a form fields, I can then choose conditionally to like only show this field if they chose the first choice on the service. So maybe when they say their service is Fast Technology Platform, then maybe this question is only relative if they answer that. So the form builder can get super advanced, and it's great, and it's built in, obviously. So when it's on the website, having a form on your site rather than sending someone a SurveyMonkey or a Google link definitely looks more credible. So anyways, form builder is in here. Can certainly leverage it however you see fit. Obviously, it's just the setup consult one right now, but that's in there if you did want to get more creative with forms. Okay, any other questions?
quick question, and I don't know if you'll be able to help me with this, but when you look on the website, the setup console button is like green. Yeah. I guess it's white because the background is green. How do you make those kind of changes? Like if there's a white background and I want the button to be green, can I do that?
Let's see. I will have to check. I think it might be like the built-in actual like coloring of the buttons as far as the form buttons go. You can definitely change what the button says. So in settings, form settings, so set up a consult, the button says get started. Yeah, it looks like the actual like button styling is probably in the actual style sheet of the theme. But the actual buttons in terms of on the pages, so if you wanted to add like a button on the page, so let's say on videos, if I do edit page, and then so here is like a button here. So if I just use this button instead of the like custom button, if you will, and I just use the general button, if I click on it, you can change the icon here. And then if I go into colors here, you can actually change. They're just sort of like out of the box. So here's the theme color highlight. Let's see what the difference is there. Okay, so these are like the different theme colors, theme color subtle. So this is white. So it looks like these are pre-built in here. So you could just change these to be, these are the actual theme colors for these buttons. I think it's just the actual like form submit buttons are going to be that green, same color.
Okay, that's fine, but this is how I'll be able to make my own and change the colors if I want.
So like if you want to actually put a button on a page, you can just use the Advanced Layout Builder content elements, this general button, and if you drag it in and then click on it, you can change it to be like white or green. So here you could put like get started. This is obviously what the button is saying and where it's going, and you can choose if it's medium, large. All of the like actual settings of the button are in here if you want to align it left, etc. And then the colors are in this tab, so you could change it to be like theme color, subtle, etc.
Okay, and there's a font one as well. I'm sorry if I missed it.
Oh, that's okay. I think it should be font is this. So I think it's just like the built-in font that's already in the style sheet. You can't like change the font right now.
Okay.
Okay. So forms are here again. If I just come down the list, pages are in here. But I usually, again, just sort of go to the website and find the page, but they're all in here if you want to see them. Same goes if you want to add a new page, you would just do pages, add new. And then like we talked about, you could just have a standard title description, or you can branch out and use the Advanced Layout Editor and publish a new page. And once it's published, then people will be able to search and find it. But it is an extra step to add it to the main menu. So that's where I want to go next. If you guys don't have any other questions, but actually adding a page to this top navigation or changing what these items are is an additional step. That's under appearance and then menus. So when you go to appearance menus, you just want to, this is the footer menu. So we want to actually change this to be the main menu that we want to edit. So if I select main menu, so here we have insurance software, video services, about, news, request demo. So you can certainly reorder these. I'm just dragging and reordering if you wanted to. And then if you made a new page and then you wanted to add it to the menu, once you publish it, it'll usually show up under most recent. So I could just do add to menu and show it. It'll show here, and then you just have to drag it up to be wherever you want. If for whatever reason you want to change like the name of the page, so maybe insurance software just comes across as too long, like I want it to be all one word. If I open up the caret, I can then just change the label to say something different, but it won't like affect the page or anything like that. So that is an option if you wanted to actually like change what these say. So maybe request a demo, you just want to say like something else, or request A, you want to put request a demo. You can actually like change the label here.
So if I'm hiding the about page for going live so quickly,
yeah.
I would have to go in here and hide.
If the page is deleted, if the page is like draft or deleted, I'm like 99% sure that it also deletes it from the menu. But yes, if you do end up seeing it still in the menu, then yeah, you could just come in and remove from menu. So if you just open it up, then here's the little remove. And then you would just save the menu once you like it how you wish.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, everything else in here is more so, like I said, for the setup. So comments are for the news posts, which I believe we turned off, so you don't have to worry about that. Portfolio items we aren't using right now. Fast technology on the left, I believe is just more so like the actual logo. So I don't think this would necessarily be changing. And then appearance, I think just the menus. If you were wondering like how to edit the footer menu, so like footer, social, these are all in here of like where the actual footer links are going. So like here is your Facebook URL. But again, I don't think these necessarily change very much. I think sometimes people are just like, where would I change that? So all of the menus that are in the footer down here, so like what are shown here, that is also in menus. So here I'm in the footer services. So again, same thing if you want to just delete some of these for now. But otherwise, these are the links that are here.
Another quick question. So on the page, if you go all the way to the footer, it says like 2019, right? Is there a way that we can set that to automatically change as the new year comes up?
It's already set to do that. It's pulling.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's pulling in like current year. This is actually like an embed thing, like pull current year. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so everything else, plugins, these are just things that we're using more again for the setup. Users, if you wanted to add a new user to the site, aside from YouTube, because I will add you after this call. But if we went into users, it's just users, add new. And then you could just, same thing, fill in your username, email, password is going to have to be strong. So you just have to make sure it's strong. I'll create just a general one for you guys for now. And then when you log in for the first time, if you come up to the very top right, here's your profile where you can reset your password. But as far as the roles go, we usually give everyone administrator access unless they totally abuse the privileges. But administrator will give you full access to the menus, everything under the sun. Editor will just be pages and posts, so not necessarily forms and menus and things like that. And then author, contributor, and subscriber get even more granular. But I feel like you guys would probably be able to be trusting of each other to have full access. Everything else, again, tools, settings, layer slider, you aren't using. So it's really just posts are news, pages are like your meat of the website, all of your actual page content, and then forms are more so optional, use them how you wish, and then appearance menus is where you would go to actually manage the menus on the site. So the top navigation menus and then those like footer columns. Questions? I know it's a lot and I know you're gonna have to get in and actually play around before you have some questions. But I just want to reiterate too, from now until Friday or whenever it is that you ultimately want to launch, I did add this submit a revision button, which is what we usually use and what we will use for sort of like the standard revision process. So in the meantime, like we're more than happy to help if you know you want to put X content on a page. If you just do submit a revision and open this button here, you can then just like send us a note and say like, hey, can you do that? Like we'll obviously reply and say, okay, this is going to be able to be implemented pre-launch or it has to be a post-launch thing. But if it's just a matter of you sharing content and you want us to put it into the pages, if that's easier for you, we can. I mean, I think having you actually go through the process of adding things to the pages will be beneficial for you in the long run. But I did add this here in the event that you want to just pass things off. If you're feeling stressed, we don't want you to be overwhelmed. So certainly if you need, you can definitely submit tickets into here. We'll know what page you're on. So don't feel as though you have to say like on the home page, change this. When you submit the ticket, we know what page you're coming from. So you can certainly like attach files if you say, hey, I want to put this image here. You can also take a screenshot. So if I click that camera, it takes a screenshot of what I'm looking at. So if you want to say, hey, can you make this X? I did just add this in just so you don't feel totally a total pass off. I definitely want you guys to know that we can definitely help out just to get this thing out the door for Monday. So.
Okay, so I do have some questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is more for reference for me for the future.
Yeah.
How did you create that image that you have up there right now and all the others? What kind of tools did you use to make that so that way if we ever want to change it later on, I can do that?
Yeah, I can send you like some of the resources, the graphic resources that we use in terms of the actual graphic. And then in terms of putting the FAST logo on it, have you ever used Canva before?
No, that
Okay.
doesn't sound familiar.
That's okay. So I'll send you that link too, but it's basically Canva is similar to it's almost like a free Photoshop tool to do quick and dirty graphics, but it basically allows you to like upload an image and then drag and overlap images on each other and then download it as a unique graphic. So I'll send you some documentation on both of those, Kim, and just sort of give you the rundown of like, I think this is like a free pick type of graphic, which again, I'll just send you the links of this is what we use for icons, this is what we use for stock photos, this is what we use for graphic generators, just so like you have them.
Perfect. Also, another question I had is obviously we have to transfer this, the files that we get for this website to our own WordPress engine account. How long does that usually take to transfer?
You mean actually just like transfer? Do you have a existing WP Engine account?
Not yet,
No.
but we are.
Okay,
Yes, I'm in the process of setting it up.
Okay, yes. I mean, it doesn't take long. Brian, basically what happens is he'll send a transferable install, it's called. So it'll like send you an email like, hey, you're being asked to transfer this website into your WP Engine account. Click here to make it, set up your billing, etc. And then it just transfers into your account. So I'm not sure if, I mean, we can certainly just do that. And then you might have all the information you need in terms of the actual like DNS records and things. I can confirm with Brian in terms of what he recommends is best, if it makes more sense for us to just keep it in our account and then like just until it's live and then transfer it over to you, just so that way we can assist. But I'll confirm with him whatever he thinks makes the most sense in terms of timing to make sure there aren't any glitches or anything like that.
So if we keep it on the Sterling WordPress account, will it be any issues once we transfer over to ours, say if we decide to do it next Wednesday or Thursday, whatever, after Monday?
Yeah.
Will it cause any issues?
No, I mean, I'll just confirm with him just in terms of like the actual process and what makes the most sense, just to make sure that like whatever is going to be obviously most seamless and foolproof as possible. But I mean, I think it'll probably be fine to just transfer it into yours, and then you'll probably have everything you need. He'll probably just still want the login in the event that we need to jump in come launch time to like help with records and things like that, just so that way it's not all in your court and you're liable for everything. So I'll just confirm with him like what he thinks makes the most sense workflow wise to like have the pass off.
Okay, so if we do go live on Monday and we use the WordPress on the Sterling account, will the IP address be different once we transfer it over to our WordPress engine account?
So basically this is just like an install in our WordPress and our WP Engine account. So no, basically what will happen is eventually we'll just transfer this site to you and it'll show in your account versus our account. But in terms of like the actual records and things, usually we did this in a website recently where we just like provided the actual like IP address and A record stuff from ours, just so that way it launched quicker. It could be launched like really, really quick. But again, if we have from now until Monday, we could certainly probably just transfer it over now because it doesn't take long. Like I said, you'll get an email and then you just set it up and then it's in your account. So I think if we do that today, it'll be fine.
Okay, I think that's the thing we want to do, but I'll talk to Dawn after.
Yeah, and I'll talk to Brian too. But I feel like if we just transfer it to you, like either today or tomorrow, make sure that it's in your account, the billing set up, et cetera, and then we can just sort of be on call come launch time in terms of, I know, like, so that way you can be in there, but in case you have questions on actually getting it launched come Monday.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And WP Engine, I don't know if you have ever worked with them, but their like support and chat is super awesome. So you could certainly just like open a support chat with them. Like once you're launching, in terms of if there's any questions there, they can probably answer them just as fast as us too. Just something to know. Their support is really great. So.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
I can't think of any right now.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to grant you guys user accounts right now. I'll send a follow-up email with the link to the prototype, the user credential, the like links to different resources that we use as far as like graphics and photos go. And then obviously in the meantime, feel free to just, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, want us to do something before Monday, feel free to just honestly use this revision tool and just fill in question, comment, and then it goes right into our sort of portal where someone will respond and answer it. And it'll reply just to like an email for you.
Okay, actually, I do have one question or comment to make. So last when Tom viewed the image on the that we're looking at right now, he mentioned that he didn't want the laptop on there. He wanted something a little bit more modern, like a tablet or a cell phone, something else. Is that something that's going to be changed before Monday?
Does he have something like in mind per se? Like actually concrete in terms of like I guess if you want to just like send over the actual graphic, then we can put the fast on it, and then obviously like send over the updated graphic for them to swap out on the page. I guess we would just have to know exactly like what type of graphic he wants to swap out. So I mean, I'll send over the resource it's called FreePick, but I'll send over the resource, and then if you just want to do some like initial, even just sitting down with him, like searching like tablet graphic, I don't know. So that way, if you send it over to us and just say like this is the direction we're going with, for you to put fast in as that main header graphic, then we can certainly like actually update it to have the logo in there to then be able to use. I think that's probably just like the best initial step, just so we have more direction to go by. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have an image he specifically wants to use. He just doesn't want the computer. He wanted something else on there, like something that people use more often now, which are our cell phones or our tablets.
Okay. Yeah, we can. I mean, I think if we both just sort of tag team and looking through FreePick and seeing if there's something else that might make sense. But this is, again, just like that image field. So you can definitely play around with uploading different ones in there and seeing how they look. But I think once you see like the actual FreePick library, it just might provide more inspiration where you might say like, oh, this might look good in there. Let me download and play with this. I think it's hard to not have anything or any sort of direction. So I think when you see like the FreePick library, you'll actually be able to search like phone and then see if there is something that speaks to you or Tom either way.
Okay, yeah, we'll just wait until I have that.
Okay, that works. All right, any other things?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I think it'll be once you get in there, have some. But I will definitely pass over to you, and then I'll connect with Brian and let you know about the what makes sense as far as the actual transferable install. But I would guess that he's going to say we can just transfer it into your account, and then so that way you'll be able to just have it to be able to launch it in house. But I will confirm.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, no problem. All right, and I'll stop this recording now, but I'll put the recording in the help section as well, so that way you guys will have it.
Okay, yeah, that would be helpful. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll send a follow-up shortly.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. No problem.
Take care.